This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
I have a friend who was the first of us. She did it on a dare. It wasn't a setting at the table.
Women have served as explosive ordnance disposal technicians in the U.S. military since the 1970s, breaking barriers in a traditionally male-dominated field and demonstrating their capabilities in one of the most dangerous and demanding military specialties. On the weekend of September 6th through 8th, 2024, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of these women, the EOD Warrior Foundation gathered 8 of these brave women to participate in a Songwriting with Soldiers retreat near Nashville, Tennessee. Participants ranged from the first female to become an EOD technician in 1974 to current active duty EOD technicians.
And all my friends, they take the long walk, no longer alone on that trail. They do it in combat boots and a ponytail, looking for a knight in shining armor. Found something better instead. When we came together to keep on blazing the path ahead, slaying the fire-breathing dragons, changing what we knew to be true. That knight in shining armor, she's a woman in a bomb suit.
So our mission here at Songwriting with Soldiers is to use collaborative songwriting to build creativity, connections, and strengths. So those are the top 3 pillars that all weekend long, every workshop, everything that's built into our schedule from the moment they arrive to the moment they depart is using those 3 pillars to build that elevated feeling.
Better. I've been traveling all day. This isn't fair, y'all. No, this is so super to be here. Meeting these people, we just clicked just like that. You know, they all make you feel so comfortable and so welcome in what you're doing, and they make you feel like you're already an impression, that you're already there. So I know that they're giving us a lot of leeway, but it's a lot of fun to be here.
Okay, we'll get that for you in the morning because we're out of those credits, but I'll make sure. So first night is all about having a really pleasurable experience. And so what that means for us as staff is that's really our time to kind of come to them and tell them a lot about us, show them who we are, have a meet and greet, we'll get to do dinner with them. We'll just start that process of, hi, I'm Jordan, and who are you? And getting that association built. And then we'll go into the first, what's called our jam session. And that jam session is going to be the first chance for our songwriters to play some of the music that they've made, because we work with professional artists. And then we, from there, go into their first group write. And that group write incorporates everyone. So the lead songwriter will guide the write, but it's from the words of the participants.
Well, y'all, those are a few songs that we wrote. What do you say we write one right now?
Yes.
Think we should? Have a little fun, just mess around and see what we can come up with. So let's think about some things in your life right now. We can write a song about anything, but let's keep it on the positive side, on the fun side. Think about some things in your life that make you smile, that make you happy. Dogs. Oh yeah. What kind of dog?
And naps. Well, there's
Dogs and naps. Oh
there's
my
8,
gosh.
So it would take a while to tell you about them all. There's 8.
You have 8. You have 8 dogs.
Yeah. Things escalated quickly.
We just finished our first group ride, and I can already tell it's really incredible to watch this group come in, and these folks don't know each other, sit in a room, and in a matter of just a few minutes, they're already feeding off each other's energy and lines and building on a story and a song, and just comes together.
It was their first time, all of them writing songs, I think individually and collectively, and it was just a lot of fun. We all got to throw in a lot of different thoughts and images, and we wrote a song together.
Yeah, I think it was a great chance to just kind of crack open the mystery of the songwrite, so that tomorrow when we get together, we've had a little bit of an icebreaker, a little chance to just get to know each other in a fun way first before we sit down and dive into the storytelling.
So it is 10:10, so it's like 3 hours past my bedtime. But we just finished our first night, and it was amazing. Even though our flight was delayed and we were just laughing on the plane every time they said they didn't know what time we were taking off, we got here, we ate, met a whole bunch of cool people, and wrote our first hit song that's going to go with a Hallmark movie. Aaron's going to make it happen. It's called Dogs, Naps.
Oh, no, you don't like dogs.
No, I love dogs.
Oh my gosh!
No,
I
I'm
didn't say that.
having
It was like
core
she doesn't like
memories
dogs.
unlocked right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dogs, naps, and what else? Oh my. Dogs, naps, and cherry pie.
The songwriters are magicians, and I just love it. I mean, I have never met any of the other EOD women before a couple hours ago, and we're already talking super deep and just laughing, having fun together, and making good memories.
It's a beautiful location, and it's probably it's a perfect place to have a retreat like this, to have such a wide variety of sensory and visual stimulus to help really kind of get the creative juices flowing, I would say. This was perfect. You have waterfalls, you have trees, you have animals, and an old mill. It's amazing.
EOD is Explosive Ordnance Disposal. Think bomb squad that you might be familiar with the local police department, and then think steroids. And what the EOD in the military does, and why I said think bomb squad on steroids, because everything from a small .22 caliber bullet to intercontinental ballistic missiles, chemical, nuclear, biological, conventional, and improvised ordnance is the responsibility of the EOD community to disarm, to render it safe, so that those hazards are not there to harm the public, to harm the rest of the military force, and to protect those resources.
Rockets rain down in the middle of the night. We all ran to shelter and we prayed we'd make daylight. Over a chorus of heavy breathing, I could hear your sweet voice say.
I was incredibly nervous about having to be responsible for bringing a story to a professional songwriter, and might have been nerves or maybe embarrassment. Sharing such an intimate part of your life, even if it's just a very small portion of your life, a sliver of time, it takes a lot of courage, I think. And then for a songwriter to take that and be so delicate with it and express it in a way that makes you feel proud of it, it's hard to not take away anything other than a deep appreciation and kind of like a therapeutic long breath of just happess.
Sat down with Kill yesterday. I think we had a little coffee kind of visiting, and then we went down and we just started talking, and I was just struck at how open. I watched her open up, and she was not afraid. She's like, you know what, we're gonna write this song, and I'm gonna tell you a lot. I don't know if you told me everything, but you told me a lot. Mama, I love you. Everything's gonna be okay. It was the deepest darkness that helped me see the light. I was changed but still broken, but now I know how to fight.
This is my song that I collaborated with a songwriter, and it was written by me for me.
Yes.
Ironically, my song took a totally different journey, and what started off as me trying to express internal feelings of what had been going on in my life not too long ago turned into kind of a a song for my son to listen to in 5-6 years when he might understand better what his mom went through during a deployment. And it's just amazing how the journey, it was just so natural to turn into, hey, this is gonna be about me being the mom I need to be for my son. And it just changed the whole vibe of the song.
I'm fighting to find the new me that's flawed but sees the truth. I'm finally feeling grace and faith and forgiveness and finding my way back to you.
So many words were chosen to kind of be open-ended. Some of the phrases are open-ended so that if anybody listens to it, you can kind of interpret it however you want and take it and apply it to whatever may be going on in your life. And I hope that in the future, if my son listens to this song, he can do the same thing. Whatever is going on in his life, he has me, and maybe this song to kind of paint a different picture of whatever's going on in his life.
First and foremost, I mean, it's collaborative songwriting. So, you know, we're lucky enough to live in a town, live in a state that has a lot of really great songwriters. And we have songwriters that do our work that are all over the country, but we have a lot of them in Nashville. And they do it for a living. They're artist writers. And we look for a specific kind of writer artist. That, you know, there's a list of sort of criteria that we look for, you know, from critical acclaim to, you know, that maybe had some hits, but really, you know, how they work with people and kind of, you know, where their heart is, and can they write fairly fast because we only have a couple hours to do these sessions. Can they play? Can they sing? I mean, there's a whole thing, and they've got to have, you know, good, you know, social intelligence and understand and be willing to learn about the dynamics of the groups that we're coming into, and, you know, because we do training. You know, we don't just run them in there to write songs. We do training and try to prep them as good as we possibly can for the scenarios that they might face, and all, you know, questions to ask and what to look for and that kind of thing. I mean, we're not therapy at all. We're just artist writers that connect. You know, our job is to help them tell their story, not fix anybody or anything. We connect for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and we write a song and we try to tell a piece of their truth.
We're gonna go kayaking, Bob. We're going to the creepy house.
So on Saturday, what happens is we're going to start our morning off with a morning mindfulness. And so in our program, you know, obviously songwriting is a core unit, but so is mindfulness and positivity, and really introducing them to the wellness journey. So I really kind of look at us as creativity plus wellness. And in that wellness, it's be present here, because it's so easy, especially in today's society, to be like, let me look at my phone. And that's pulling at you. And what we try to do is to take them out of that. And we say, you know, phones in your pockets. Let's have 30 minutes of mindfulness. Let's be present. Let's listen to the, you know, what's going on with the waterfall. What are you experiencing? And we'll guide them through a more of like a present mindfulness meditation, center their nervous system, and then get them all kind of regulated as a group. That then leads us into our breakfast, and from there we'll kind of divide into 2 groups. So we'll have the first group that goes to work one-on-one with their songwriters in the morning, and then so that's like our group 1, and group 2 comes with me. We'll do a tour of the grounds, and then we're going to go into our creative writing workshop. We'll go into lunch, and then we'll flip. So those 4 that wrote in the morning will now go to the songwriters, and then the other group will come with me for the creative writing.
Okay, I had the honor of sitting down with Mary yesterday morning. We talked about a lot of things. She was talking about how adventurous and brave she was when she was younger, and just everything was wide open. And then right around 18, she got into a couple situations, a personal one and a professional one, where people, they were even kind of intertwined, where there were a number of forces that were trying to put her in a box where she did not belong. She finally realized, I don't have to go just because that's where they point, and I don't have to respond just because that's what they call me. And she's the one who busted out with the title, word for word. She's like, because you are what you answer to. And I was like, did you know that you just wrote the title of our song?
That's right.
Since then, and this has been many years now, right, since this. And she has been volunteering and just scooping up new experiences and new skills. I mean, like freaking hot air ballooning. And I mean, you name it, she's probably tried, like scuba diving, skydiving. Yeah. I'd be waiting on the ground for you to come down. I'm not. I don't trust a lot of people like I did at 18. Lived some life since then so far now. I can see the patterns and I know what they mean. People show me they are what they are. Blowing things up wasn't the hard part of the job. Getting out of the box they stuck me in. The name they gave me, the place they put me. Oh, I'm never going back again.
Okay, so my stress in EOD was not the job, but getting the respect as the same kind of technician that everybody else was, and not being given the girl job of doing the admin office and the typing and the filling out forms instead. I mean, there's other things, there's training, there's supply and everything else, but I got put in admin and cleaning the bathroom. I went in at 81 or 80, and at the end of 81. And so girls were not, we weren't real plentiful there.
I think for me, a couple of the things that I specifically focused on is some of the institutional discrimination that goes on. In EOD particular, it's very, very, very male dominated. So there's things that are unique to being a woman, and I think some of my male peers didn't understand some of that, or when people would report something happening, they didn't take it seriously. And so when you have the ability to advocate, so you can advocate for people, and not necessarily people that come to you asking for help, but you can see what's going on based on your own experiences, and you can use your rank and your position to advocate for others that are, finding barriers in their way.
I was told by quite a few people that you're taking a job from a guy who's trying to provide for his family. And I'm like, I'm sure the Air Force has a lot of other jobs that they can take. I didn't see them, they say no to a lot of people, and they can go to the Army. I'm not taking anybody's job, but that's the way they felt.
Getting out of the box they stuck me in, the name they gave me, the place they put me. Oh, I'm never going back again. Somebody point some way, don't mean you have to go. When you know how to say no, hell no. Just 'cause it gets called out, don't make it true. You are what you answer to. You are what you answer to.
I didn't have all the tools then, but I was learning fast about how to deal with that, like drawing the line of the urinals. I drew the line on the urinals. I'm not cleaning up after them. There were other things that happened that were bad, but I learned not to put myself in that kind of situation to be taken advantage of again. And so that's the way it has to be. You learn from all bad experiences and to make you a smarter, safer person.
I think there are times things happen that you have little control over as somebody early on in their career, and you think, well, when I'm in charge, I'll change that. And so as you go up through the ranks, you do get in a place where you have more ability to change what's going on, so your influence can be greater. And then you're using those negative experiences in a positive way to prevent someone else from experiencing negative things that may have happened to you. I don't think that it wasn't available for me, having been like the first female in EOD in the Army to get promoted to the highest enlisted ranks of being a sergeant major and then being a command sergeant major. I didn't have any female peers, and that can be very isolating. So, helping them build a network so they don't feel so alone. And that gives you a lot of internal strength to stand up to whatever struggles that you're facing.
All right, the first song I wrote yesterday was with Lisa, right over there, who is a badass, for those of you don't know that. That's right, she's now a badass with a tattoo, exactly.
I think it's a part of the human experience. Like, we all struggle and we all put on a facade, but what's going on inside is like, it's breaking your heart, and then you question yourself, and like people say, let it go. Just, that was the past, let it go. But how do you let it go when you've been hurt so deeply and you don't trust anyone to bring that out into the sunlight to say, like, I'm hurt? Where do you go to find that safe space to do that, to then begin to start putting the pieces back together and start healing yourself and taking back that control? Because you have to take that facade off that you've been carrying for how long?
And we wrote a song, I think she had the title, it was called Taking Back Control. And, it's just basically about her career and how she's had to deal with a lot of shit for one reason, just because she's a woman, not because she's not great at what she does. She is great at what she does. And like I said yesterday, she has 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 master's degrees. So we wrote this song, and it's just the idea that the stuff that has left her feeling hurt and pain and stuff from her past, there's nothing we can do about that now. But what we can do is take control of the moment we're in and live a good life and be strong, and that's what she is, and we wrote this together. I'm gonna sing it for y'all right now. I've taken all the punches everybody's thrown my way, picked herself up off the mat and faced another day. Felt the pain deep inside my wounded soul. I'm taking back control. I'm letting go of all the shame that's tied me down so long. And all the shitty voices saying, girl, you don't belong. No more living in that dark and lonely hole. I'm taking back control. I'm taking back.
I'm so grateful for a phone call that I got from my buddy Radney Foster in 2011. And he said that his buddy Darden Smith was setting up a retreat to write with some veterans, and Radney asked me if I wanted to go do it.
The organization was founded by 2 people, and they were friends in middle school and high school, and one was a professional songwriter, and the other was an educator and coach and expert in positive psychology.
They figured they would do like almost an art project and blend the two.
At that time, Mary Judd, who created the program, was writing about creativity and human flourishing and happiness. And Darden Smith, the songwriter, was working with veterans kind of in one-off situations and writing songs.
We did it in Colorado, which is my home state, which was really nice to do, beautiful trout streams everywhere. And yeah, it was in 2011, and after the very first write, we all knew how powerful this thing could be, because it was just, we met for lunch that morning, after we wrote, our first songs, and we were just looking at each other, the writers just going, what just happened? Like we were just in tears because our hearts were so full and we couldn't believe what just happened. And so we knew we had to keep doing these retreats.
I'm taking back control. I'm taking back control of who I am. A woman as good as any man. A soldier standing proud and living free. I'm saying goodbye to all those lies that I've been told. Taking back control. I'm waking up now.
The songwriters and the team that are there at Songwriting, because they look at this whole concept of wellness of an individual and the collaboration and understanding that it's not necessarily what that individual experienced as the one key moment in their life that maybe caused an issue, but it's their whole life. And that goes back to a lot of things we learn about post-traumatic growth even, is that it may not have been the issue of the deployment, it may have been something further back in their life that's been brought forward, that was brought out.
Well, music has a special power because music literally hits all parts of the brain. It's one of the few things that lights up the brain in every way. And because of that, it can really have an impact. You can say things through music, through a song, that you just can't speak. You can talk in metaphor and still get your message across and remember what it was about. And even in the session, even if all of the stories that happen in the session don't come out in the song, they're still being heard. There's real power to being heard, just to being heard, and that deep listening that someone is sitting across from you that really cares.
It's very interesting to watch. People do it. They do it willingly. They seemingly do it in an enjoyable manner, but there's something about people who are used to writing and telling stories and taking an interest in you and helping you craft the ability to tell your story that becomes very meaningful and very helpful. And I have yet to find a person of the very, very many I know that have gone through songwriting that were not affected by it on a deep personal level.
We're coming at it from kind of the humanity of creativity and the positive side of it. So we want to have fun. We want to get into flow. We want to play and teach them how to come back to that as well, to their own creativity. Non-judgment. Just do it. Experiment.
I had the privilege to sit down with Linda yesterday, and she came in and we walked out on the deck and we looked over. It was on the third floor, and gosh, we looked over and there was all those beautiful trees, and we kind of looked down and the first line of the song came out of that. We were just standing there, but this line, if we weren't walking on the edge, we were taking up too much room. That's what she heard too. That's what she heard, and I got it. She'd heard that before, and she told me, and it had to be the first line of the song. I think we're starting the song right now. If we weren't walking on the edge, we were taking up too much room. We were all drawn to the passion of harnessing that boom. We'd ride desert roads, doing everything we could to stay ahead of the devil that always up to no good.
Particularly proud of this one. This year represents the 50th anniversary of the first woman to come through EOD school and go on into the career field. Talk about breaking glass ceilings. The women that are going to be here this weekend for this collaborative event with Songwriting are all military EOD women, to include that very first woman, Linda Cox.
So at this retreat, we have the entire range of EOD techs, female EOD techs. And we've got, the icon Linda Cox, who was the first female EOD tech ever. We've got officer and enlisted. We also have, from our historic women to my generation of women who are senior NCOs in the military. And then we've got, the youngest generation. Our newest graduated last year from school. She's about to celebrate her first year anniversary of being an EOD tech.
And went through all the trials and tribulations during that time era that you can imagine of a young woman trying to attend a very, well, not male-dominated, period, just male-dominated career field, with some that were very unwelcoming to her, but did it in a fashion where that became a hallmark of her career in being a successful teammate, not expecting favors, working hard, learning, being smart or smarter than anybody else, ultimately becoming a teacher and a supporter and a mentor to others. And from that start of that career, that very first person, that first woman to attend EOD school, went on to become the first Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force in EOD. That is Chief Master Sergeant being the highest enlisted rank in the Air Force. Very difficult to do on its own, but even more difficult in a very small career field.
Now that I finally found my voice in the last couple of years, I feel like I'm the type of person that likes to stand up for the little guy, and getting to meet Linda was just kind of like a dream come true. She made it possible. She made it possible for me to be able to do what I'm doing, and it's just, I don't know, just sometimes there's just no words. I'm just kind of still in awe and shock, and I have been blessed in my career to be surrounded by some very incredibly powerful and strong women who have helped shape me and make me who I am today.
Waste this extra time heaven has allowed. Let's go live this life, make our fallen proud. We're in this thing together, you're not alone. EOD forever, yeah, EOD is home.
I'm from a very small town, and there really wasn't anything to do in that small town. And so I did enlist in the Air Force. After being in the Air Force for a couple of years, I didn't know about EOD. I didn't know there was a bomb squad. And a friend of mine, this is a true story, a friend of mine dared me to go into EOD. She said, "I bet you won't do that." I said, "I bet I will." She said, "I dare you." So that's how I got in. I love the job. I love the work. You feel like you're saving or making a difference. Another thing is we do dispose of a lot of things by detonation, so we get to blow things up. I mean,
We must have had angels on each shoulder for all those dark, explosive years. They kept us safe, dragging that C4 through the demo ops, clearance walks, and beers. Well, any way you cut it, it just came down to luck that we made it home, and the others' names are etched from marble dust. Don't waste this extra time.
back then, back in that day, the young people now that you'll be talking to a little bit later, they have some fantastic technical abilities that we didn't have, okay? They don't necessarily have to put themselves in between you and the bomb because they have technology that does that to them. In my day, they have robots and tools. In my day, I was the robot. We were the robots that went down there and placed the tool. So it's really been quite a movement to improve, and it has improved.
Extra time heaven has allowed. Let's go live this life, make our fallen proud. We're in this together, oh, you're not alone. EOD forever, oh, EOD is home. loved walking on the edge. Somehow we made it through. We were all drawn to the passion of harnessing that boom. All right.
Thank you. It's always at a beautiful location. It's really important to have a beautiful place for them to come, and it really is conducive to creativity. And we always have great food. There's always going to be great food because we think that's a big part of it. And you know, we'll have fantastic photographers here, Pulitzer Prize-winning photographers, and we have sound engineers, professional sound engineers, and we have a studio that we set up so we can capture the song right after we write it. You know, we call them the field recordings, but it's like a song taking its first breath. You know, so we go in there and we record them right away, write them and then record them.
I was hanging by a thread, I was laying on the floor. I was told to start living, didn't want to anymore. Found my way to a love that's 1,000 miles wide. I have made it to the other side. It was a great experience with Sierra. A powerful story. She's one of those people who has a story that, as I was listening to it, I was sitting there saying two things. I was saying, how is this young woman not crying? And how is she getting through this story? And how has she survived?
But he worked so I could focus like solely on school. And thankfully, in July of 2021, I graduated in May, and in July I took my licensure exam to see if I could actually be a PTA, and I passed on July 26th of 2021. Head over heels, I told him that I passed. He's head over heels. We were like thrilled. We always would make comments about like, oh, we're gonna be dinking it, and dinking is double income, no kids.
Oh,
so yeah, we were like, oh, we're gonna be dinking it. Like we were so pumped, had all these plans. That then, unfortunately, 4 days later, on July 30th of 2021, passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, so
yeah,
sorry.
it was horrible.
And it's through perseverance and a great attitude and faith and what we ended up writing. I thought we were going to write like a really dark song about grief, and it turned out to be a song about hope and living, and incredibly inspiring.
Like for the 6 months after he died, I spent a lot of time just laying on the floor, like screaming, crying, literally feeling like I could not breathe. I oftentimes have described it as, like, I feel like that feeling that I felt during that time and like the day of losing my husband, during that whole entire time, I feel like that is the equivalent of what it feels like to die without physically dying.
I wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping, wasn't walking, skin and bones. Was a broken, bitter lover who was better off alone. I lost count of all the tears, can't believe how much I cried, but I made it to the other side.
I got a text message from a recruiter, completely random, had no clue how he had my phone number, and I went talk to him.
Maybe another God.
I definitely think it was. Went and talked to him. Was back and forth between joining the military, and one night I prayed about it, and I literally asked God to, like, if this is what I need to do, if I need to join the military, to like bring me peace about it, because I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Went to bed that night, woke up the next morning completely at peace, and like was ready to go. So I told the recruiter that. He signed me up for MEPS. I learned about EOD because I didn't know what job I wanted. He asked me what job I wanted. I was like, I don't know, but I'll tell you about myself, and you tell me what you think.
Thank God and my mama for the love that I got. Thank God that their love ain't never gonna stop. Seen the light shining through, and I'm here to testify. You can make it to the other side. Guitar solo.
As an organization, we've written more than 1,300 songs with veterans and active military and their families. And we've written more than 800 songs just face-to-face in the weekend retreats. but we also work with a partnership where we write group songs, and we've written with more than 4,000 veterans, first responders, and active military. If you add up all of the people that have been reached directly sitting across from a songwriter, it's nearly 5,000.
There are times when I still wish that I could run away, but I found myself a real good reason to stay. It's that crazy little roller coaster ride we call life. I have made it to the other side. Yeah, I have made it to the other side. Yeah.
So to be honest, that was all the EOD Warrior Foundation. I've been working with them a lot. I'm stationed at Eglin, where they're located, and they help support so many programs that we're involved in with women in EOD and student advocacy. So working closely with them, I think that they started knowing me as a person and realizing that I was under a lot of stress, and they stepped in and they were like, hey, we're throwing this retreat. We would really love for you to be there. And as busy as I was, I just kept forgetting to fill out my application, and they kept going, we're still holding your slot. Come on, do this. And I thank them so much, especially Maria, because she kept on me, and I'm here, and I'm so happy.
The EOD Warrior Foundation is an organization that was established starting back in 1969 and has grown along with some other EOD-related organizations to where we are today. And the purpose of the organization is to improve the quality of life of EOD warriors and their families. And we focus in the areas of education, scholarships, financial assistance where necessary, supporting their emotional health through wellness and retreats, wellness practices, and also in taking care of the EOD Memorial located across the street from the EOD school down at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida.
So again, as I always do, I threw myself into this with zero expectations. And when I got here, I was immediately, actually just at the airport, not even here, I was immediately greeted by this group of wonderful women. I don't think they could have chosen a better group to be with. They've all been so warm and welcoming and hilarious. So right away, it was like we just clicked, and the experience has just been so wonderful all weekend. Lots of laughs, tattoos, and lots of healing.
Hey, midnight tattoo. Twisted sisters on a winding road, howling at the moon, leaving our mark, living our truth. Hey, 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 midnight tattoo.
Giselle had mentioned, she was like, I have 13 matching tattoos with other people, and I was just like, tattoos, huh?
Tattoo happened. It was sort of like that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. We don't know who started it or how it happened, but things escalated quickly.
She was like, I've always kind of wanted a little bomb. I don't remember where the bomb idea came from. Somebody had it, and I was like, hey.
And Melinda is making phone calls to try to get tattoo shops to stay open late after our retreat.
They did not expect it. They did not expect it, but they called ahead. One of our leaders up there called ahead and got it all arranged. Please stay open for us. There'll be at least 9 of us. There'll be at least 10 tattoos. And they loved it. They enjoyed it more than we did, or just as much.
It's a commitment to do things a little different, to make a change deeper than the skin. We're not afraid to detonate the norm, blowing up the box and tried to put us in. Hey, hey, midnight tattoo, twisted sisters on a winding road, howling at the moon, leaving our mark, living our truth.
Yeah.
Giselle and I did get one special matching one. We got little murder ghosts,
and that was definitely to commemorate the horror theme that we had going on.
So I did get a tattoo. It was actually my first tattoo. So I got the EOD Warrior Foundation emblem tattooed on my arm.
We all got like little bombs and stuff, something that's representative of the EOD community. And we had two of the ladies who got their first tattoos ever. So that's pretty amazing to get to be a part of something like that. There's something so powerful in putting something on your body permanently that connects you with other people. It's kind of like the bonds that our sisterhood already has. Like we have this kind of shared trauma, this shared love of a career field all meshed together, and you know, it doesn't matter how far you are separated from it, it still bonds us together.
The other really powerful moment of the weekend is the first time they hear their song sung back to them with their peers. They're being witnessed, and they're having a peer look at them and say, wow, I could have written that song. That's my story too. Or just understanding them better. And there's also civilians in the room. And even though the civilian might not be able to understand what it's like to walk towards a bomb, they can understand emotion, fear, and loss. So all of those things are just human emotions that connect us.
Giselle and I sat down this afternoon, and we also chose to lean toward the hopeful. She told me a couple stories of challenges and the dark side, but also pretty early in our visit wanted to focus on the good stuff and the progress that has come from women in the EOD finding each other, Exhibit A.
What I would say to females wanting to come into EOD, or even just the military in general, because it is so male heavy or male dominated, is that you need to find yourself a good group of females that are sharing your experience and that you can connect with. Because for a long time in my career, I used to think that I was lucky that I didn't get treated unfairly, that I was lucky that I had really good relationships with my supervisors, and now I don't see it that way. I'm not lucky. That it shouldn't be luck to be treated like a human being. And the unfortunate thing is, as amazing as the military is, there are still some people out there that try to make it just a little harder on women in particular, and you need to be able to stand up for yourself and have these groups that connect you so you can reach back out and have a support system in place for when those times get rough. But what I will say is that it is getting so much better, especially because of things like this, these retreats that bond us. Now we have a support system to reach back to whenever we go back to our flights, and we don't feel so alone.
Keep blazing the path ahead, slaying the fire, breathing dragons, changing what we knew to be true. Yeah, that knight in shining armor, she's a woman in a bomb suit. Yeah, that knight in shining armor, she's a woman in a bomb suit.
We got introduced to all the songwriters the first night. I was like, I really hope that I'm paired up with Aaron. I was like, I see something, like I feel like we're gonna be really good and jive really well creatively. And we did. We knocked out our first song in probably 45 minutes, and it was really great. I felt like it really captured exactly what I was going through, and we just kind of, we bounced off of one another.
Rebecca has just been taking the punches these last few years, and so for you to still have the outlook on life that you have, to keep striving to find the peace and to find the love, and like Melanie said, to embrace the suck. You're not like pretending it's not there, but you just keep fighting.
Last 3 years, there've been so many tears. Tables keep turning on me. One moment I'm in the sun, just soaking it up. The next, my demons are dragging me out to sea.
Basically, like I feel like I've come alive again. This year was really. Past couple of years have been really hard, but this year in particular, I got to a very dark space, and it's very detrimental to me. Because I like to think of myself as a positive person. What I like to put out there is just never give up, and never stop seeking ways to make yourself better, to help yourself, because they're the most unconventional ways, like doing a songwriting retreat, and I also did a surf retreat. All of these kinds of things, they open you up and you get different information that you have no idea how it's going to affect you before you do it, and once you go through it, you're just like, oh.
And it feels like I'm drowning, it keeps coming down, and it feels like the weight of it's crushing me underneath. I've tried forgiveness, the pain's still relentless. Sometimes I just want to know when there'll be a chance I can breathe.
So 77% increased feelings of hope, 83% increase in creative pursuits after the retreat, 78% increased in connections, and 100% of the people that attend the retreats would recommend it to somebody else.
And it's not all tough stuff. You can come in and be happy as a lark and write a happy song. You can come in and write a song that tells the story and help pull out the stresses and the pain that you may have experienced. It's about the individual, and that's what the team does with songwriting, is they pull that out of the right place at the right time in an appropriate manner, and bring it full circle into this is how we get better. This is your story. Live your story. Take the stigma out of your story. Share it with others.
This weekend with the songwriters and all the professional writers, and marrying together with the Warrior Foundation was spectacular. I mean, it's such a good marriage. They work so well together, and it was so fun. And the outcome was refreshing, and everyone has already said they are leaving in a new frame of mind, and I think that that's the whole thing.
But just something special and magical was created here that I can reconnect to anytime I feel like that light dimming, and just reach back to it and keep pushing forward. And then I have other people to remind me who I am, and to keep honoring that true authentic self.
The fact that the range is so diverse, and we were able to come together and just connect in the way that we did and bond, it just shows the power of the badge in the EOD career field.
See that mountain coming, and I'm ready to climb, lacing up my boots to take on the wilderness. I'll hold on to hope and say thy will be done. I'll keep trying and shining and soaking up your love.
And so I was talking with my husband earlier and with a friend, and they asked, how did it go? I said, it was amazing. Music is where you can talk without words through any language, and yeah, music is a big part of my life.
Love, and it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Gotta feel it to heal it, and I'm not afraid to fight. 'Cause I've been down in the dark and found my way back to the light. I know you got me, so I know it's gonna be alright. Beauty from the edge wishes all in your time. Quiet my heart, make still my mind. Just be here with me and hold me tight. You'll be my rock for the rest of my life, and it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Gotta feel it to heal it, and I'm not afraid to fight. 'Cause I've been down.
We honor and salute the brave women who have served and continue to serve as explosive ordnance disposal technicians across all branches of the U.S. military. These courageous women have shattered barriers and proven their dedication and valor in one of the most dangerous and demanding military specialties and saved countless lives. We extend our deepest gratitude to all service members, past and present, who have answered the call to defend our nation. We recognize the strength and resilience of military families whose love and support serve as a foundation for our armed forces. We solemnly remember and honor all who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Their courage, dedication, and sacrifice will never be forgotten.
'Cause I've been down in the dark and found my way back to the light. I know you got me, so I know it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright.
So awesome.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.